number 7. It says, which graph shows the solution to 2x plus 3y is less than negative 12? Now I know when we look at this, the less than sign, we know that our graph has to be dotted. Our only choice would be C. But that's not how it's going to be on the test. So I want to show you what you're going to need to do on the test in order to eliminate and figure out which answer is correct. So the first thing you're going to have to do is solve for y. So put it in slope-intercept form, which is y equals mx plus b. So you want to move x to the other side of the inequality, and when you do that, that changes the sign of the x only. Okay, so the 3y is going to stay 3y, and that 2x is going to be negative 2x, and then minus 12. And then we divide by negative 3. And since we're dividing by a positive number, we don't have to worry about switching the sign. If we were dividing by a positive number, then we would have to switch the sign, which would change the way it's shaded. Okay, so that's why we've got to be careful not just to go based off of the answer. So if it's less than, it's shaded below. If it's greater than, it's shaded above. If it has the line under it, it's going to be a solid line. If it doesn't, like this, it's going to be a dashed line. So based off of the choices here, like I said, C is the correct answer. Okay, but you're going to have to put this in slope-intercept form first, and then you'll be able to see which graph would be correct. Because if there was another dotted one, then I would have to, I wouldn't be able to just pick out the answer. Okay, so that was just, you got lucky on this one, but that's not the way it is on the test, so make sure that you do this work. All right, number 8, we've got to write the inequality that is graphed here. And so to do that, we need the slope and the y-intercept. So the y-intercept is negative 2, so that's your b. And now I got to find the slope. So if I start at negative 2, I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3 over 1 till I get my next point. And I'm going to make sure that still works. That still works. So that means my slope is 3 over 1, which is 3. Okay? This is a solid line, so that means that my inequality is going to have the bar under it, and it's shaded below. Okay, so I know that it's going to have to be less than or equal to when I write my inequality. So we're going to have to say y is less than or equal to, the slope is 3, so it'd be 3x minus 2. So this is the slope-intercept form of this inequality. Notice that does not match any of these answers down here. So we're going to have to put this in standard form. What I don't want you to do is assume that since that's less than or equal to, that one of these is the answer because these are less than or equal to. That's not necessarily going to always work. So we've got to make sure we put it in standard form first, and then we'll be able to see if it's going to stay the same. So to put it in standard form, x needs to be on the same side as y. So I'm going to move the x over to the other side. Again, I'm only moving the x, so that's the only sign that's going to change. So we're going to have negative 3x plus y is less than or equal to negative 2. So the y stayed positive, the negative 2 stayed negative, my sign stayed what it was. Okay, now standard form is x and y on the same side, and the coefficient of x has to be positive. Right now it's negative. So how can I take a negative 3 and make it a positive 3? Well, to do that, we multiply both sides by negative 1. And since you're multiplying by a negative number, what does that do? That flips this inequality. So this is going to be 3x minus y is greater than or equal to positive 2. So see, if I assumed that just because this was less than or equal to, that it was going to be one of these, I would get it wrong. So I've got to make sure that I go through these steps and it's actually greater than or equal to. So the correct answer here is B. So just a couple things to review. If the line is solid, you're going to have a line underneath your inequality symbol. So it's going to have the equal to part. If it's dashed, like this one up here, or dotted is another way to say that, then it's just going to have the less than or greater than. Okay, it's not going to have the line under it. If it's shaded under the line, below it, then it's less than. And that's when it's in slope-intercept form, okay, not standard form. If it's shaded above, like this one is shaded above, this one's shaded above, then it would be greater than. So go the other way.